You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Guys, imagine what you can accomplish when you're not distracted by the swampy conditions in your shorts. Dollar Shave Club's ball spray is like deodorant for your boys downstairs. It absorbs moisture, reduces chafing, which is huge, and keeps those rank odors at bay. Not to mention our minty, tingly aroma that lets you know you're fresh. And a precision sprayer that makes application easy at any angle. Get a fresh pair. Visit dollarshaveclub.com to get ball spray today.
So that's your face that's smelling.
Come on. Get out of here.
And my head.
Jay.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, yep, that's
Jay,
it.
It is not the musk.
I'm telling you, that's all it is.
What is the name of it? What is the name
Tata
of it?
Harper, hold on, resurfacing cream.
Let's just get your whole skin
face
care.
moisturizer.
Yeah. Well, let's just go.
Yeah.
This is the content now.
Yes. Let's.
$92. That's what I'm paying for this.
So it is a high-end lotion.
It's
right here, yeah.
It's Tata,
That's why it smells good.
Tata something.
Tata Harper,
You
it's
smell expensive.
$92.
I'm glad we
But it's a
solved this.
lotion. It's not a
Okay.
cologne.
Yeah, a
I wanna make
More
sure
$92
expensive than any cologne I've ever heard of.
Yeah, can I see it, please?
Yeah.
Is this the only part of your skincare routine?
No, there's 3 of those different bottles there.
Okay, so you have 3.
So there's
this
one's
is
a
moisturizer.
This
They're
is
all
not.
moisturizer.
This is not
They're
a
all for bald
moisturizer.
dudes.
This is a serum.
Oh, no, then I got to
Wait a minute, Jay.
come on.
Jay, what fraudulence?
A serum.
You said it was
No,
your,
it's
your
a moisturizer.
No, it's a serum.
You
Yeah,
said it was your
serums are
natural
not-
musk.
No, it's
you
my
said
natural
it was
musk.
Serums are
With this.
$92.
With this.
Lotions are
It's a
$5.
Wait. Massage 1 or 2 pumps onto your face and neck.
Yeah,
And follow with eye treatment, which I don't do. It's a moisturizer.
Serum.
No,
Yes.
okay, so I'm worried about your skincare routine now because I know you don't wear sunscreen and you need
I don't.
that. The serum, you need a moisturizer to
No,
lock
there is a
that
moisturizer.
in.
There's
okay,
3
so
of these
we have
things.
so we have a serum, a moisturizer, and do you know what the other product
something else.
is?
You have a
This is
multi-pronged
ridiculous.
skincare.
This
Where's
is
Zach? Where's my
ridiculous.
other-
I can't
Which you
believe
need.
this.
It's good to have a nice skincare routine.
Yeah, but you also
My
can't
girl
just
takes
roll
care of
in
me.
all
But you need
humble.
to
My
add
girl takes care of
sunscreen.
me. I don't know what the
You're
hell
spending
it is.
about $200 on your skincare routine, smelling all good, saying, no, it's just me. Come on.
Correction.
False humility.
She is.
Okay. But false humility.
Jay, I feel like you have just been unmasked before us.
You might actually be wearing
But
a
you guys
skincare
are saying
mask.
cologne. There's no cologne.
Jay,
It's moisturizer.
I've been in Hollywood for 2 weeks
It's
now,
moisturizer.
and I have smelled nothing nicer than the way that you walked into our room and made the whole place smell. And now we
That's
learned
my
that
resurfacing
there's
cream,
a
yes.
serum involved.
Yes.
But that's
Lucy,
a resurf. It's a
I'm
moisturizer.
so happy we got Lucy on the case.
Is it not moisturizer?
No, this is a serum. So a serum
the hell's
is
the difference?
different than a moisturizer. So a serum, that's
About
something that
$100.
has like vitamin like C
Oh,
or
vitamin
A
C.
or whatever in
See?
it. And so that's
just
something.
vitamins.
Yeah, you put that on your skin and then you put moisturizer on top. So like
Well,
a
I put that
serum.
one on last though.
Yeah, so you should switch that
Oh, I
order.
should- okay,
yeah,
there you go.
so you should
No,
wash
I shouldn't
your
because
face.
obviously what I'm doing is working.
No, it smells good, but I'm worried,
About your
one,
face.
about the sunscreen. We really need to add the sunscreen. So we need to wash,
Look
serum,
at the shade he's now.
moisturizer,
He's turned his.
sunscreen.
Look at his body language.
This
He's turned his.
this
he's
is the
turned his
best
body around.
journalism that Meadowlark has done. She is unmasked.
Quite literally.
The scoop, yes, like the scoop man has a serum and moisturizers and a
I'm a
skin.
bald dude. Bald dudes
no,
gotta do
you said
stuff.
it was your natural musk.
It is my natural musk with that. I told you it was a
We-
moisturizer. Did I not say I wore moisturizer? I said it was just
you
moisturizer.
have a serum. It's different.
We are not
Rolling
going to
around with
shame a
Frank
skincare
Drake.
routine.
It's vitamins.
No, it's good that he has a skincare routine. It's
Thank you.
important. I hope you two have skincare
Yes,
routines.
so
No, I actually do the lotion.
I was going to say the same thing. So do I.
Well, I don't.
Shame on you both.
I don't have a serum.
Shame.
I don't have
You probably-
$93 to spend on a serum.
Yeah, $92 that he didn't even know he had spent on something called Tata.
We can find you a cheaper one. We'll talk after the show.
Lucy, you were fascinated by Jay Glazer's beginnings in journalism because you could not believe that someone could live in New York. What were the totals, Jay, that you were earning per article?
That I knew, right. So this is my consistent work. I started in 89. And again, 89, I was doing stand-up comedy, trying to box, I was bouncing, I was bartending, doing everything. Interning everywhere, like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I did that one.
You did that? With Robin Leach.
Yep. I did FAN for a while, two semesters. And then
Now the salary's starting to make sense.
but there was
Radio
it was zero.
back
So
then?
yeah, radio back then. But yeah, my first gig was covering the Giants in '93 for this magazine that I became the assistant editor of, an editor a week later, and I found out why, because they were bankrupt. So they said I was going to get a certain salary, but I didn't. And that went on for years and years. And I kept signing with these little magazines, and they kept going out of business and bouncing checks. So the only thing I knew is I would have I ended up covering the New York Post. I got a job covering the NFL for the New York Post for $250 a story, which came out to $9,000 a year. And I had to sell each week to Greg Gallo, the editor over there, each week. Like, I'm going to have this, like, he wouldn't just take it. I had to have scoop. Like, and that's where I kind of got, got the ability to make sure I have scoop, or make sure whatever I have is, when I come on Fox NFL Sunday on Sunday, same thing as when I did newspapers back in the day. The lead, right, as newspaper guy, I had to sell it to my editor so I could get my $250 that week. Because if I didn't, I was screwed. And then New York One TV hired me to do a Jets Giants show, which they paid me a car service each week for the first couple of years, and then they agreed to give me $450 a year. If I can get myself to the Super Bowl, I could learn how to do stand-up and hits down there, and they would pay me $150 for 3 of them. So it was $9,450 a year for those 11 years that I knew I was getting. And I lived in some bad areas. I thought I was tough. I wasn't that tough. Yeah.
How did you afford to eat?
Yeah.
I'm curious what you did to sustain on that for so long.
Yeah. The giant press room, the Super Bowls, I lived in the, oh my God, that first Super Bowl that year too. I had to get myself down there. The New York Post gave me $250 for my normal Sunday story, and another 100 or 200 for 8 stories after the Super Bowl. That was it, not total, not for each one. And I called friends to see if I could sleep on couches, and that's what I did. And I would try and go to the parties that night so I could eat, and go to the press room so I could eat. And it's something about, again, I made that decision day one. I will be the last dude standing here until somebody hires me, and realize what I'm giving this being this insider is going to be of value. That was the other thing too. That wasn't really a job or a career in industry. So you had to convince these places that this is an industry. And thank God in '99, CBS got football back. They hired me to be an insider for $50,000 a year. And I was like, and I'll tell you what happened. My agent called me at the time, and I'd been turned down by a million agents. Got a Morgas friend now, signed in '97. He calls me one day and he said, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And I was a little somewhere in Randall's Island, New York. And he said, "You could exhale." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We finally got you a full-time job." So this is 11 years into my career. And I said, "With who?" He said, "CBS Sports." I said, "I'll take it." And he said, "Don't you want to know how much it's for?" And I said, "I don't give a f***, because this validated me. This is my moment. When I said years ago that I would be the last dude standing in that giant locker room, and I would outwork everybody, not by a little, by a lot. And one day, man, I would it would pay off. This is my moment. So I don't care how much it's for." And he said, "Well, it's for $50,000. I was like, "Oh, thank you, my best friend, God Almighty in heaven. I could pay all my bills." That's the thing too. I wouldn't pay my bills. So electricity was always off. Gas was off. Rent, they're always chasing me for that. Only my phone bill, I had to make sure I had enough to pay. And I would just kind of rotate it all the time. It was just being a survivor, and it was exhausting. And then I just built it from there. And with the CBS thing, a couple weeks shortly after, CBSSportsline.com, which is for another $50. So I went from 9, and then local CBS for $35. So I went from $9,450 for all those years being so broke to $135,000, which I will tell you this, it's great, but it was exhausting. And trying to be great is lonely, and trying to be successful is exhausting, right? You guys know. It's exhausting.
Trying to be better at what you try to be better at for 25 years, where you're competing against every market. I don't.
And not just that, also trying to be a stand-up comedian too, and make it there, which is also
last long, but yeah,
that's also a super difficult injury, and you're dealing with failure a lot.
And you know what? That was the hardest thing I ever did, because I had no control over it. I felt if you had a great set, still man, if the person before you was terrible, or I don't know, the waiter is terrible, or whatever. There's a lot of things that aren't in your control. That kind of drove me crazy. But even back then, I'm like, I'm going to try everything I can. I was going to try boxing. I wasn't good at that. I was going to try stand-up comedy. Wasn't made for that. Thank God sports was the one that stepped up and I was able to get the job. But it was an 11-year journey. That overnight success was 11 years. There is no secret of my success is it's overnight. Find out who the best is and do more than them. And that's what I try to do. And it took me 11 years to do that and get that break. And again, thank God that I was just relentless and just kept at it.
I want to ask you if you're proud of yourself and if you love yourself, but the Dolphins, I think people want to just know. I think they probably just want to know what your assessment is of the Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins are on, they came out so hot that if they have a hiccup, everybody was like, oh, man, forget. No. It's a journey. This football season is a journey. And even they're still evaluating certain things. You're still kind of piling up, okay, what's going to work for us later on in the year, right? Look at, Philadelphia. Okay, with the tush push, we talk about this. I was in their team meeting a couple weeks ago before they played the Rams, and Nick Sirianni's fine that I say this, but he's in there talking about the tush push, and they're going over, look how much we've worked on this from last year to this year. Look at the detail. This is why we're better at it than everybody else. It wasn't just, hey, we started this last year, and we're great out of the gates, right? We've worked on it over and over and over and over and gotten progressively better, and we're better at it this year than we were last year. Same with these teams like the Dolphins and Niners and other, especially these great offensive coaches. They're going to continue to work on things that they are going to fine-tune as the year goes on, and they're going to start standing out a lot more. The Dolphins will be staying there at the end of the season. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mike McDaniel said after the game.
And they're getting Jalen Ramsey back.
Yeah. They said losses are good occasionally. Losses can be a
absolutely.
good thing.
1,000,000%. Because that's when you find out who you are. You find out who's really on board with you. You find out who starts, pulling away and starts talking about the coaches and that. You really find out about a lot.
Philadelphia, though, we know Philadelphia is good, and for them to have a play like Jay, you've never even seen this.
No, I've never seen it.
That for them to have a play where they can just be stronger than you, and people complain about let's change the rules. We don't like
that's
they can do this. In that sport, to have a play that's not stoppable.
Yeah, but that's to take that play away from them. That's if you want to get graded also, you have to get a quarterback like that. You have to get a center like that. There's not too many of Jason Kelsey's out there and that offensive line, but they work at it. They practice it. I don't think everybody else practices it the way they do. And even for the Kelsey to say, hey, now I have to tell the refs that I put my other hand down there so I can brace for myself. He might be the only center that's figured it out because they work at it so much.
Teams are trying to get lower. I was actually talking about that. I was watching the game with Mina Kimes.
Leverage is everything, baby. That's why short guys win.
That's not a look at me, Louie. And we were talking about how everyone's actually pretty good at this play in the league. They invented it, essentially, the brotherly shove, and they've perfected it. They're better than everybody else, but everybody's pretty good at it. What is the argument against it? Because we were talking about health and safety.
They think you're going to get hurt.
But there haven't been injuries.
I know that. I think people are just pissed off because they're better than everybody else. But that's also like saying, hey, you know what? The league's changing. You can't hit, these receivers kind of get, run free a lot more now. So you don't have possession receiver. We're going to go for a lot faster receivers now. And that's saying, well, it's not fair that the Dolphins have, Tyreek Hill and Waddle and all these fast receivers. That's not fair. It's not fair. No. You go get a bunch of fast receivers. Mm-hmm. So I'm against banning that 1,000,000,000%.
But you do love yourself.
I mean, clearly spending $92 on a serum.
I know,
my girl does that. Sometimes. I'm learning to.
Yeah.
It's a process. I'm learning to.
What would you, who is making just over $9,000 a year, tell future you that is wearing a $92 serum? Just curious how that
jackpot.